welcome to another Checiegirl Creations video. So in today's video, I'll be showing you the 4 designs I created for the Ohh Deer box contest. I'm filming this quite a bit before, so I'm not too sure if I won, but basically the brief was to create any kind of design as long as it was just black, and then you put it on their box templates to show what it would look like on the box. And they were looking for 2 artists for 2 different size boxes, so I did 2 designs for the large box and the small box. And you guys have already seen these photos on Instagram and Facebook if you already follow me there. Those links are down below if you want to keep up with things before they come on video and stuff. So if you would like to see this video in real time, the first section of the video is real time, I kind of walk you through my process, then you can become a Patreon from just $3 a month, and that is also linked down below as well. But if you do find this video is a little bit too fast and you can't become a Patreon, feel free to slow it down a little bit with the settings cog at the bottom of the screen. So I started off first by sketching a few ideas, which you've probably already seen, and I had 4 ideas. I wanted to do jellyfish, mushrooms, and lemons, and then a kind of leafy botanical design. So at first I was thinking succulents, but then I wasn't really feeling that, so I decided to go with a leafy design. And 3 of the designs were inspired by previous things I've done before. So the lemon one was inspired by my most recent pattern done for Color Palette Wednesday on Patreon, and actually another one of them was from a Color Palette Wednesday illustration, the negative leaf painting one. And then the next one was I like to do jellyfish paintings, so it was kind of inspired by my most recent jellyfish painting, but not completely because I just like to do jellyfish. And then I thought it'd be cool to do mushrooms because why not? Mushrooms are quite cute. Well, I think so anyways. So the program I'm using to do this on is Krita. It's a free drawing program. I think that's how you would refer to it. I'll actually link it down below. It's really nice to use. I'm not experienced in digital art in any shape or form, so I find it quite easy to use, which is really nice, especially when you're just trying to figure things out. I actually learned a lot of things while I was doing this process. So in the real-time version you can hear me talking through and kind of trying to figure out how to do some things. So I learned a lot doing this process, which was really nice. I'll talk more about that later. So yeah, I'm using Krita, and then the drawing tablet I'm using is a Wacom Intuos tablet. I got that last year. I will also link that down below. I got it from Amazon, so I'll link that down below. I'm not sponsored or anything by any of these things. I'm just linking them if you want to take a look. It's not too bad a price actually. I got it on sale for 100, but normally it's around 170 I think. And it's really nice to be able to just start off with, because I know I won't be doing digital art all the time. And it's one without a screen. You've already probably seen that because I did show that in the video. And I know lots of people think that it might be really difficult to draw on one without the screen because you're drawing on the tablet but looking at your monitor. But I found it, didn't take that long to get used to it. I think if you're used to using one with a screen on the iPad Pro or something like that, then it might be kind of tricky. But if you're now starting off and you don't really have anything to judge it by, it's not too bad. And you'll get used to it pretty quickly if you're practicing. It came with 3 replacement nibs. Yeah, 3 replacement nibs. I'm actually going through them kind of quickly. I press too hard. I'm trying to work at that. But yeah, so that's a bit of an issue, honestly. I'm hoping to find because the nibs aren't cheap, but I'm hoping to see if I can find a better price for them. So I'm looking before I completely run out. But anyways, on to the process. So when I first started off, I just used an A3 template. Krita has a few ready-made templates that you can choose from, or you can make your own custom canvas, and I just chose an A3 one with 300 DPI because on the contest brief it said that if you wanted to do a finished piece, then make sure it was 300 DPI so you could I guess just send it straight to them. So I made sure it was that, and like when the canvas is kind of got like one layer, and then it's got, you can add layers, and that layer can be like transparent. So there was like a transparent layer and then like a blank layer kind of thing, and that was good because you had to save it as a PNG, which would make it transparent, so I could put it onto the box after I was finished. I used the charcoal pencil, around the size like 63 point something, around there, but I used a charcoal pencil because I just quite like that texture. I wanted a soft but bold texture, so I stuck to that one. And when I first started like the lemon one, I used these kind of circle template pen, and I think you've probably already seen that. I'm not too sure because I'm recording this without actually looking at the video, but basically, to make sure it would like stay as a circle, I figured out that when you're like kind of drawing out the circle, to make sure and press shift, because shift makes sure it kind of stays square in a way. And then once you've finished, you kind of lift up your pen, then you stop pressing shift, and it'll stay like a perfect circle. So I used that for like the outside of the lemons, and then I freehanded everything else. I just wanted the lemon, like the outside of the lemon, to be circular as possible. I find it's really difficult to like be steady digitally. I don't know if that's just lack of practice or not, but yeah, so that's why I use the circles. And then after that, I just went in with the wedges freehanded. And because this was just supposed to be black and then craft, because the boxes are craft, I had to figure out a way to like add highlights without actually adding highlights. So I thought it would be nice to like say have the wedges like in black and the leaves in black, and then I could like add in the highlights as I go along. And I really like the look of that. And when I was adding in the highlights, at first I had made the pencil white, but then I realized that it wouldn't actually show through. So when adding the highlights and you want it to be like transparent on the box, you make sure to rub out the black so that you can still see like through the background. So instead of adding white, you're rubbing out. A bit like negative painting in a way. So yeah, that's pretty much like how I did the lemon design. It was pretty simple, really. I would say this was probably the simplest one I did. Which was good because this was like the first design I've done, and it was a nice practice for like the other ones. So yeah, nice and simple. Pretty much the same as my other pattern. The only thing is I just made things a little bit bolder, not as many lemons, because I wanted them to be a bit bigger so it would stand out on the box. And you can see that I added the logo in the largest lemon. And at first you'll see that I was like writing out the logo because I didn't know how to like add an image in to Critter yet. But once when I was putting the design on the boxes, I realized that the best way to add an image, at least the way I figured out to, is to when you have like your file window open, you just drag and drop the photo in, then you press the option new layer, and then you can move it around as you want. To like adjust sizes and stuff, I would click either Control T or just the transform tool on like the toolbar on my left. And yeah, that's pretty much how I would do it. So that's how I was able to add the logo in. And once I had done that and I'd made sure that everything was like transparent as I wanted it, I saved it as a PNG so I can put it onto the box. Now, me trying to figure out how to put it onto a box was quite difficult, I've got to say. I did actually have to look up a tutorial because I couldn't figure out how. But the way to be able to like kind of warp your image onto like a surface is like, once I put the image in, so I drag and drop the image in as like one layer, and then I drag and drop the design in as another layer. And then you click the transform tool, and where you have like all the brushes and stuff, you have like tool options like next to like the brush settings. So you click on tool options while you're on the transform tool, then you click like perspective, because normally when you like the transform setting is just square, so you just change like the size or the width or like length, but when you click perspective, you're able to warp it onto the box. Now, I wasn't able to figure out how to completely get it on the box without having to cut off corners. So basically I'll just put it onto the box and then I'll just cut away the corners, which you'll see on like each time I put designs on the boxes. I don't know if I was doing something wrong or if that's just how it would happen anyway, not too sure. I'm not very tech savvy when it comes to digital art at all, so I just kind of cut it off because I couldn't figure out how to like get it to fit, but thankfully it still looked good. And what was really cool is like to see the design on the box. It was really nice to see. So yeah, that's pretty much how I was able to get it onto the box. I apologize for you not being able to see like the file like page and everything. The settings I had on my screen recording, I had it to only film like the critter window, but I didn't realize then it wouldn't like, well, I forgot that it wouldn't film any like pop-up bits when I was like going through the process. So if you would like me like in the future to do like kind of shorter tutorial videos of like things I figure out, let me know in the comments below. I didn't realize that, but now I know for whenever I do future digital videos. And actually now, because I have a screen recording, you can look forward to whenever I do something digitally, I might film it, and that could be a video. That creature I made the other day of like a bird and a jellyfish combined, I really want to fix that up digitally, so I think I'll film that, and so you can look forward to that. That might actually be next week's video, so you can look forward to that. But of course, most of my videos, the majority, will be traditional as normal. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And oh yeah, so the designs that I did, I actually ended up doing 2 like negative paintings and then 2 just like drawings. So the lemon and the mushroom ones are just like drawings, but then the leafy botanical one and the jellyfish are negative paintings, because like, or negative drawings, whatever you want to call it, because I'm basically carving out an image from like a colored background. And I absolutely love like all of them. I'm really happy with how they all turned out. I had no idea how it was going to turn out because I was only using black, and that was really like challenging to try to make everything stand out and to be able to add details without it all just ending up as like a black blob. Because normally I use all sorts of different colors, like even if I'm doing a monochromatic piece, it's different like tones and shades and stuff of that one color. So this was just one color, that was it. So that was really challenging, but it was fun to like try to kind of carve out highlights here, add details there. And you can kind of see like a theme going across like how I would add details, which was pretty cool. I like that they all looked like they were made by the same person, because I always say I don't have a style, but maybe I do, because I was able to like see how they were all similar in the way like I added detail and stuff, and like to figure out like different places to like put the logo. Like I really like how I put it in the mushrooms. That was kind of fun to like play around with like where to put the logo and stuff. And even if like I didn't get in, because I don't know yet, but even if I didn't, it's okay, because I was able to practice doing something like I've never done before. I've never like done anything to like a brief or anything. Well, I kind of have, but not to something like this where, you know, I have to think about how I would look on the box, and like, especially for like the bigger box where it kind of like folds over like on the side, like how the design would look folded over. Like, am I going to make it slightly different? Like say with the mushrooms, the grass was mostly on the side and just kind of came up over the edge onto the top just a little bit, but like the mushroom start were just on the top of the box. So like trying to figure that out was really fun. And I'm really happy that I actually did do this contest, because I wasn't sure if I was going to, but I'm glad that I did, because it's nice to have this like this practice and this skill like under my belt now, so I have a better idea of how I would design things for like certain products. But these designs you will see on Redbubble at some point in time. I'll just have to like remove the logo and stuff, but yeah, you will see these designs on Redbubble at some point in time in the future. Not too far into the future either, because I really love how they all turned out. So now onto like my process in a little bit more detail. So I wanted to just say like how I kind of work digitally like at the moment. So you can add like different layers, and you can see that on the right hand side of the screen. And what I like to do is, so say for the negative pieces, I would have like a black background, that's one layer. And then say if, like how with the jellyfish or like the leaves, I started off with a completely like rubbed off area, and I would just have that as one layer. And because I don't want to say ruin my first layer, because like, I'm really liking how it's looking, I would do another layer. I would make my pen white, and then I would draw over where I want the designs, especially like on the leaves and the jellyfish. You could see how I move things around that was like on the other layers, and I basically made each thing I drew on one layer. So one leaf cluster would be on one layer, then the other one on the next layer, and I name my layers as well so I don't get too confused, because there's a lot of layers there and I didn't want to get confused or have to keep on clicking through and seeing which layer was which. So say I would have like leaf cluster 1, leaf cluster 2, that kind of thing. And once I was like happy with how everything was looking and like how I had moved everything around, I would then merge the layers by just right clicking. And when you right click over a layer, you have a bunch of options that open up, and you just click merge with layer below. So make sure that the it's above the layer you want it to merge with. And once I've done that, I can then go through with my fill tool. I was using my fill tool but with like the rubber setting on, and just clicking where I want it to rub off. And because it's already merged onto like the black background, it'll rub off where that white was, so then it'll be transparent. So that's what I was doing. And when I did the jellyfish, when I was adding the bubbles, I did that on another layer. And really, I probably shouldn't have done that, but by the time I realized I was on another layer, it was too late. So I did have to go and like rub out each bubble section. And when I first put it onto the box, because like when I thought I was finished with the jellyfish one, I realized I wasn't, because there was like no details on like the main body of the jellyfish. So I had to go in and add those details. And I also realized that some of the bubbles hadn't been rubbed off. And a great way to not make that mistake is to basically have a layer under like everything, especially like the black layer, like your first layer, and then put like a bright color like blue or green or something. And you'll be able to see like what layers haven't been rubbed off, and you'll also be able to see what's not transparent or not, just in case you might have missed a layer here and there. So you'll see me do that with the jellyfish one. At some point it kind of goes green, and that's because I was just making sure that everything was transparent. And yeah, so that's basically, I have a lot of layers. Now sometimes I don't have a lot of layers. Like if I'm doing an illustration, then I wouldn't really have that many layers. But for this, because I didn't want to have to worry about rubbing off or cutting away things, I just had a bunch of layers so I could move around and like make up my mind how I wanted. Like with the lemon one, I had the lemon with the logo as like its own layer, and then like the filled in like juicy bits of the lemon was another layer. Then I had all the circle lemons on one layer, all the wedge lemons on one layer, the leaves were on its own layer. Actually, the leaves were on the leaves and like the juicy bits of the lemon that were filled in were on one layer, just because they were all filled in anyway. And it would have just made the process a lot quicker when I was rubbing out like for highlights and details. So yeah, I would just have a bunch of layers, and I would make sure to name them so I wouldn't get confused, because yeah, you can really lose track of all the layers, especially when you have quite a lot. And I would always have like the logo on its own layer as well. And again, like on the negative designs, I would change the color of the logo to white. And by doing that, I use the magic wand tool, I think it's called, you can find like on the tool bar bit, and I would click on it, it would select that letter, and then I would just fill it in with white until I was happy. And then once I knew where I wanted it to be, then I would just go and rub away the letters, and then it'll be transparent for me to use. So that's basically like how I worked, and it's the same thing over and over again. which is why also the video is quite fast, because it's pretty much the same process, just different designs, and I wanted to like show you guys. I know this video is pretty long though, but yeah, so that was pretty much my process. Pretty simple, really. A couple things I want to point out. On my on the drawing tablet, it has 4 shortcut keys. So I have an undo button, a redo button, a save button, and the other one, I think I'm actually going to make it to deselect, because I use the selection tool a lot. So that'll kind of make my process quicker if I have a deselect shortcut key. So I think that's what I'll make for the 4th one. On the pen, it also has 2 shortcut keys. One is right click, and when I right click, it comes up with like a few tools, like that circular thing you keep on seeing through the video. When that circle thing comes up, you can either change colors, change some tools, you can change the size of your canvas, you can flip your canvas. Yeah, that's pretty much what you can do. I think I also said you can turn the canvas as well. So that's why I have the right click as a shortcut key. I also have eraser, but for some reason it doesn't actually work. I don't know if it's me or the program, I'm not too sure. So yeah, there's a few shortcut keys, and the shortcut keys just help to just make the process a little bit faster. So you can just pick things that you press a lot, which is why I have the eraser button, but it doesn't work. So I have to try to figure out how to make it work. Oh, and when you want to save as a PNG, I make sure to, that white layer that we don't put anything on, that's just like the background, I make sure and like make that invisible by just clicking the eye next to like the layer. That makes your layer invisible, then I just save it as a PNG. Simple as. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got to say about the process. I think so. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this process. It was fun to create all these designs, and as well like kind of like adapting paintings and stuff I had already made into like a more finished design. It was really cool to do. I really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying like making patterns and stuff. And yeah, so I'll probably try to do like more things like digitally as well, like doing patterns, because it just makes my life a little bit easier to be able to like put it on Redbubble and stuff, because it's already digital. I can make it nice and big, and it can fit on all sorts of different things. So yeah, it's really fun. I would recommend, especially if you want to make art your career, practicing things like this, so that you just have this kind of stuff to show on your in your portfolio, that you can do all sorts of different things. So even if you can't do it digitally, you can still do this traditionally. I like to watch Minnie Small, and she has been like doing different videos where she's commissioned herself to make, say, designing notebook covers or like stickers and stuff like that, or like album covers and those kind of like along those lines. So I would definitely recommend to practice things like this, which is why I wanted to do this. So even if I didn't win, I would still have that. I can still have that on my portfolio, like all the different things I can do. So yeah, I would definitely recommend like commissioning yourself. So even if you're not like joining a contest or anything, commission yourself, and you can get that kind of skills like under your belt. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know which of my designs are your favorite, which ones you prefer, and if you have any questions, please do pop them down in the comments below. I will make sure and link Critter and the where I got the tablet from in the description. I was gonna say all materials are listed below, but that's pretty much it, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Let me know which one is your favorite. Please do give me a like if you did enjoy the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload every Friday around midday. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.